YouTube channel Pro Enzo Vids, and this is my round 27 NRL tips for 2023. So for some clubs, it's the final teamless Tuesday for the year and their final game for the season until next year in 2024. For some clubs, they process into next week, and for finals, which you're very lucky if you are playing finals footy, because I wish Manly were, but we've got to only hope next year. But it's been a quick season so far. It really has felt quick. So I can remember round 1 like yesterday, so already around 27. So crazy to think how fast the season's gone. But before I start, please be sure to like this video and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Currently trying to get to 3,700 subscribers. So if I can get there, but hopefully the next few weeks or days, that'd be greatly appreciated, the new support. So I do appreciate that. Final week of footy, regular season footy before finals. How exciting! And there's actually a few debutants, so the debut videos for me are going to go crazy with how many have been named this week. So should be good. But until then, going to get into the very first game, Broncos and the Storm. This is huge. So at Suncorp Stadium, the Broncos take on the Storm, and at 7:50 p.m. and both sides arrested some players, it looks like, because both Broncos and the Storm are locked in for top 4 and obviously finals for this year. So obviously rest your big stars until finals, which I think is a fair enough call. Looking at the Broncos team, it looks like Reece Walsh, Herbie Farnworth, Selwyn Cobbo, Ezra Mann, Billy Walters and Payne Haas and Kurt Capel are all being rested, while Adam Reynolds, calf, and Pat Carrigan foot and Tony Stacks suspended will also miss the match. On debut, and he's 27 years old, which I couldn't believe, and I've never heard of him in my life until now. Josh Rogers will make his debut at 5'8" for the Broncos, so very interested to see how he goes. And on debut as well, Blake Mozer. So I've heard a lot of good things about him, and he's a really talented young hooker. So I think it's about time he got his debut for the Broncos. So hopefully he kills it. While Tristan Sailor plays his 4th game of the season at fullback, and Jordan Pereira makes his first appearance of 2023 on the wing. My tip for this one, in the Storm team, I forgot. So it looks like Meaney, Seve, Coates, Munster, Welch, Nelson of Solomona, Kami Kamika, Eisenhuth and Liera are all being rested. Grant Hughes are carrying injuries, so they're out too. Ryan Pappenhausen's been able to start at fullback, and Justin Olam gets a recall in the centres. Jaden Nikorima and Tyrant Wishart take over the halves. An exciting youngster, Sua Falongo, makes his NRL debut off the bench, and Alec McDonald, Jack Howarth and Aaron Penne. So a few debutants in this game, 4 in total, I think. So it's a big Thursday coming up. My tip for this game, going to tip the Storm to win here. I reckon the Broncos have too much quality out compared to Melbourne. I know both halves pairings look awful and won't be much attack from both sides, but Melbourne do have a good record, at Suncorp Stadium against the Broncos. I believe the Broncos have not beaten there since 2009, so I can see it continuing. So, but either way, Broncos locked in for top 2. So, but may not get the minor premiership if the Panthers lose to the Cowboys. Or if the Panthers do beat the Cowboys, I should say. But Storm by 6, and first try scorer, going to go with the man at fullback, Ryan Pappenhausen. Alright, on to the first game of Friday night, and it's the last game for both of these sides, as Manly and Tigers aren't making finals in 2023. And my last game attending a Manly game for this year, which is sad because, I've had a fun time going to Brookie a bit more often this year, and making more vlogs and stuff. It's been a good year in terms of content, I suppose, and going to Brookie, watch us play more games there. But tough season, but you can only hope it gets better. But Manly Tigers at Brookie, a few debutants for the Tigers too, including one we actually had at the Manly club last year, but let him go. But he'll make his debut against us, and that is Josh Folletti. So I'll get into the teams in a minute, but I'll go through Manly's first. For us, there's just the one change, and that's Kelma Talangi goes to 18th man, and Josh Schuster moves to 19th man, or the 19th jersey in reserves, and Dean Madison comes in for Kelma Talangi on the bench. And Jake Trbojevic plays his 200th game for Manly, so that's huge. That's huge for Jake. And for the Tigers, Alex Twal illness and Jake Simpkin head knock return for their final game of the season. But Stefano, Utoikamanu and John Bateman are both out. Api Coruscant will again play halfback, and Will Smith goes to the reserves. And Josh Folletti will make his NRL debut against Manly, which, he was a local junior at the club, so hurts to let them type of players go, but we'll see how he goes. And also, Kit Laualiti makes his NRL debut off the bench. So, that'd be good to see how the Tigers youngsters go in this game. But my tip for this game, I will back Manly. I think for Jake will win it, and I think we'll want to end our season pretty well at Brookie as it's our final game of the year there. So I'll go Manly by 12, and first try scorer, Ray Vega. Said that on the podcast last night, the Ankle Breaker podcast, that Ray Vega will score first. Okay, on to an absolutely huge game, and this is the game that I cannot wait for as a neutral. Two huge rivals, but it comes with a twist, and these two sides cannot both make finals. One of them has to make it, and one of them has to miss it. Depends on who wins and loses this game. So, wow. It's funny because both these sides were expected to finish in the top 4 this year, but have both obviously had their moments and haven't been great. But both sides are still really good in their day. Like, don't get me wrong, but it's a lower expectation this year for some reason. But it happens, I guess. But this comes down to a really big prize because whoever wins makes finals, but whoever loses misses finals. So could it be Souths that missed the finals for the first time since 2017? Or could it be the Roosters that missed the finals for the first time since 2016? It'd be really interesting to see. But going through both sides, and by the way, I wish I was at this game too. But yeah, Manly and Tigers, and Manly games are before anything. So for the Rabbitohs, Latrell Mitchell is suspended, obviously. So Blake Taff is to play fullback. Isaac Thompson comes on the wing for Taane Milne, who drops to 18th man. Tavita Totola starts the game at prop with Jai Arrow going to the bench, and Michael Cheekham has been recalled to the back row in place of Jacob Host. Jed Cartwright is listed among the reserves as he looks to return from a back injury. And for the Roosters, James Tedesco is back after missing round 26 with a head knock. And Joey Manu has been now named in the centres despite a hamstring injury, but it might be ruled out late to see how we go. And Jared Warrior-Hargraves will front the judiciary on Tuesday to contest the grading of his grade 2 dangerous contact charge. And I don't know if he'll get off. I don't think he'll get off, no way, but he might get it reduced. And Fletcher Baker starts in the front row, and Angus Crichton on the bench. This is so incredibly tough to pick. Like, it's really hard to actually know who wins this one. I'm going to tip Souths. Yep, I think I'll tip Souths here. Not confident, but I think they'll do enough here because I think they've got a bit more in them, and I think they deserve finals more than the Roosters do in 2023. So I'll go Souths by 8. And first try scorer, I'll go with Isaiah Tass. But you can literally flip a coin and you get the result of what you'd think would happen because it's that tough of a game to pick. I don't know who to really lean towards, but for now, Souths. Okay, on to Super Saturday now, and it's the first game of 3 and the last one of 2023. It is Dolphins and the Warriors taking on each other at Suncorp Stadium in Brisbane at 3 p.m. And the last time these two sides played, the Warriors were obviously too good at Mount Smart in a big win they had there. And look, first year for the Dolphins, and they're not playing finals, obviously, but, I guess it's a pass mark for Wayne Bennett and the Dolphins after what they've been expected to do this year. Like, the way they started the year was incredible. They looked like a really genuine force at the start of the year. Then, obviously, things caught up to them, and, the rest is history. But there is potential in the Dolphins team, I reckon. There's a lot of potential there. So, it's a season where they can keep their head high, I reckon. So, Wayne and the Dolphins should be proud of the year they've had. But looking at both sides, for the Dolphins, Jesse Bromwich returns from a groin injury to lead the Dolphins in their final game of the season. So, Jarrah Wallace goes back to the bench, and Josh Kerr misses the game through suspension. So, Max Plaff joins the bench. And with the Warriors, with a top 4 finish already secured, Andrew Webster has opted to rest the majority of his frontline stars. C&K, DWZ, Sean Johnson, all sitting out this round, which means Tane Tuapiki, Ed Kosi, and Ronald Volkman have all come into the team. And T. Murray Martin makes his long-awaited return at 5'8" in place of Luke Metcalf with a hamstring injury. Wade Egan is replaced in the starting side by Freddie Larsick. Mitch Barnett returns from a leg laceration to replace Adam Finua-Blake at prop. Tatu Harris is out with a back injury, so Dylan Walker starts at lock, and Braden Williami and Tom Ale are the new faces on the bench. My tip for this game, I am going to tip the... I'm going to tip the Warriors, I think. I think the Warriors might be a bit too good here still. I know they have most of their stars out, but I think, I don't know. I just have a feeling that the Warriors might secure a win here. And I like Dylan Walker starting this time. I think him in the middle starting brings good impact. And I think T. Murray Martin would like to make a statement in his return game for the Warriors. I don't know. I think Dolphins could easily win, but I think the Warriors might get this one and give some confidence leading into finals. And Mitch Barnett's back too. So I'll go Warriors by 4 and first try scorer Adam Pompey. Okay, on to the next game of Super Saturday. It is the Panthers taking on the Cowboys at Bluebet Stadium in Penrith, and that's at 5:30 p.m. And yeah, this is a big game for both sides because if the Panthers win and the Broncos lose on Thursday, they secure another minor premiership. But obviously, Broncos win, then Panthers come second. But they come second first either way, so they're top 2 locked in. But for the Cowboys, though, if they win, they probably do make the finals, I think. But if they lose, then that's all over their season. So, yeah, there's a lot at stake, I think. But looking at both sides, for the Panthers, Dylan Edwards, Sania Taruva, Mitch Kenny, and Scott Sorensen are all back on deck after being rested last week. So Jake Cogger replaces the injured the injured Jerome Luai with a shoulder injury. He's out, so Cogger is Luai's replacement. Zach Hoskin goes back to the bench, and Luke Garner goes to reserves. And for the centre positions, Isaac Tago is listed among the reserves and could be a late inclusion if he comes back. But yeah, so far that's the team. And for the Cowboys, Todd Payton rolls out the same 17 that got the job done against the Dolphins, with rookie Zach Laber holding his place in the centres. And yeah, that's pretty much it. They've got the same team as last week. Wow, this is tough. I think Cowboys have a lot of potential to push the Panthers here. But unfortunately, I think the Panthers don't lose back-to-back games in Penrith. And I think heading into finals, they want to take things a bit more seriously. And I think they got a bit of a wake-up call from last week. And I think they'll like to finish the last regular home game of the season well. So I think Penrith might be a bit too strong here. Not going to rule out Cowboys, but I think Penrith are going to be a bit too good in the end. So Panthers by 6 and first try scorer. Let's go Liam Martin for first try. And on to the final game of Super Saturday. It is the Dragons taking on the Knights at Jubilee Stadium. So at Cogra for the Dragons' final game of 2023, while the Knights are into finals. And it's huge for the Knights because, you know, we all thought a few months ago that they were all over and finished for the season. But ever since that Bali trip, something's really sparked that team. And yeah, they've come back and they've looked really strong ever since. So yeah, Newcastle, hats off to them. They're playing great footy and, you know, it's great confidence for themselves going to a home final next week too. So who they play, it's not confirmed or not too sure who they would play. But, yeah, no, good on Newey. It's good to see. Looking at both sides of the Dragons, Jack DeBellin returns from a suspension at lock, so Michael Molo goes to the bench. Debutant Sione Finau suffered an ankle injury, so he is replaced by Matt Feagai on the wing. And Jaden Sullivan is listed among the reserves as he looks to return from a hamstring injury. So he might play his last game for the Dragons before he goes to the Tigers. Sullivan, who knows? For the Knights, with Ponga out with an AC joint injury, which is a huge out for the Knights. Lachlan Miller will start at fullback. Jackson Hastings is listed among the reserves as he needs a return from an ankle injury, as is Lachlan Fitzgibbon, who misses round 26 with a shoulder issue. Tyson Frizzell, Dane Gagai, and Phoenix Crossan are being rested, so Brodie Jones, Anaro Tuala, and Amanu Brown come in. And Riley Jones makes his NRL debut off the bench in the backup hooker role. So there we go, another debutant there. My tip for this game, going to tip the... I don't know. I might tip the Dragons, actually, yeah, because I think Knights without Ponga might be a bit of a blow. And I know Knights are playing with heaps of confidence, so obviously they win, I won't be too shocked. But Look, Dragons, I know they've been losing recently and they've been a bit unlucky in some games, but this might be the game where they finally get a bit of luck and might actually win. So I'll go Dragons by 2. First try scorer, Moses Sully. But yeah, look, I wouldn't be shocked if Knights won, but because of the players they have out, I think Dragons will get the job done, finish their year with a win. On to Sunday afternoon footy, and it's the last games for both these sides for 2023. It's the Titans taking on the Bulldogs at Seabus Super Stadium on the Gold Coast. So, the last time these two sides played, well, Titans were all but locked in to win, but the Bulldogs came back from behind and beat them at a core stadium. So, yeah, that was still a very entertaining ending for a Titans and Dogs game. But yeah, that's what happened last time they played. But yeah, we'll see how both these sides do go in their following games in 2023. Been disappointing years for both Titans and Dogs, but I'm sure one of them would like to win and finish their year on a high. Looking at both sides, for the Titans, Mawaki Fodawaker returns after missing the Storm game to be at home in Queensland for the birth of his child. So Isaac Liu is out after suffering a finger injury against Melbourne. And for the Bulldogs, Savito Pangai Jr.'s NRL career is over after he was left out of the side to face Titans. So that's his last game against Manly last week. Harrison Edwards is also out. His place at lock is taken by Max King. The new faces on the bench are Sam Hughes, Curtis Moran, and RFM, Hamstring, and Ryan Sutton neck are listed among the reserves. And yep, that's the changes for both sides. My tip for this game, I'm going to tip the Titans here. I think the Titans will get their last win of the year in the Gold Coast before the new year next year. So I'll go Titans by 10 and first try scorer AJ Brimson. And now on to the final game of the regular season. It is the Sharks taking on the Raiders at PointsBet Stadium in Cronulla. And yeah, another very crucial game because I think if Sharks win, they're locked in for finals. But if Raiders lose, if Raiders lose and if Sharks win, then that's the Raiders missing finals most likely. Or I don't know. It depends on how the other games do go. But look, it's very similar to the Roosters and Rabbitohs game. Like if Raiders win, Sharks lose, and potentially Sharks drop out. But if Sharks win, Raiders lose, and yeah, potentially Raiders drop out. So we'll see how it all pans out on the next couple of days. But big game, this one, very big game. Looking at both sides, for the Sharks, Nico Hines returns after missing the Knights game with a quad injury. So Braden Trindle goes to the 5'8" role, and Matt Moreland slides into the bench. No other changes for Craig Fitzgibbon's men. For the Raiders, Corey Horsburgh has been named pending his trip to the judiciary on Tuesday night. If he is successful and if it is overturned, he'll play. But if it's not, then yeah, he'll be suspended for 4 games. Wow. Josh Papali'i is out for the rest of the year with biceps injury. So Hopeha Peru makes an NRL debut on the bench. Hohepa Peru. Sorry, I've got the name wrong there. Jamal Fogarty trained on Tuesday and has been named despite suffering a facial injury against the Broncos. Yeah, look, my tip for this game, very tough too because both these sides are very similar in some way, I feel like. But because it's at Cronulla and because the Sharks are playing their final home game of the year in the regular season, I think the Sharks will like to put on a big show here and get the win over the Raiders, winning by about, let's go, 6. I think the Sharks might get the job done here, but not going to rule out Canberra though. But with Papali'i out, with a few other injuries and stuff, and yeah, I don't think it really helps Canberra too much quality-wise. So I'll back Sharks here by 6 and first try scorer, Sione Katoa on the wing. Great try scorer. But everyone, that's my round 27 tips for the NRL 2023 season. And last tipping, video for the regular season. It's been a good time doing every round 1 to round 27 tip weekly videos. So yeah. Well, bring on finals next week. Very keen for it. But thank you for watching. Please be sure to like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and comment your tips in the comment section down below. And be sure to let me know your tips as well. So keen to see what everyone's backing for the weekend. But I hope you all enjoy, and yeah, good luck to your sides this week.